What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And I first off want to start off by saying thank you to everybody that has subscribed lately. I noticed that I've gotten a lot of new followers, so I appreciate everyone subscribing, and I'm glad that you all find the content that I'm putting out entertaining or informative. And all the comments definitely help keep the motivation for me to continue to try to keep pushing out content. So in today's video, I'm actually going to be taking you guys down to El Centro, or the center. Now, I want to say when I first got here to Medellin, you hear about El Centro and you hear how it's dangerous, you shouldn't go there. And I'm not saying it's not. It definitely has an element of danger to it. And El Centro is the place where if your phone gets stolen, more than likely, that's where it's going to end up to get sold. So I would say, especially now, it's not as dangerous as I would say everyone makes it seem to be. Like I said, there still is an element of danger, but the last few times I've gone to El Centro, I've seen tour groups going through El Centro, and I'm talking about like white Europeans and older people. So I want to kind of go through El Centro today, and I want to kind of break down some things also I haven't seen anybody else talk about either in YouTube videos or any kind of short form content. And one of those things is that El Centro is kind of broken up into sectors or sections, shall we say. And you can find pretty much whatever you're looking for in these sections. So for example, in one section is going to be a lot of automotive shops or things that have to deal with cars. And in another section, it may be things like household items. And the main, probably primary section is going to be clothes. And then if you go to another section, it'll be electronics. So there's kind of like little pockets or little sections of where you can find, whatever it is that you might be looking for. So I want to kind of show that because, like I said, I haven't seen anybody show or talk about that when it comes to El Centro, which is good information because it was something I didn't know. I kind of had to learn just by randomly going down there. I started noticing that, hey, there's little sections for everything. And I want to show you guys a couple of landmarks down there as well. I decided to walk instead of driving or taking Uber. Usually I don't drive to El Centro. One, just because the traffic is really bad, and two, there hardly is anywhere to park. But secondly, I want to get my steps in today, and I probably live maybe about 20 minutes walking distance from El Centro. Also, I could have took the metro. I do have a metro card, but like I said, I'm trying to keep it healthy and actually walk today. So I'm not going to record this whole time because I don't want this video to be too long. So I'm going to cut and then re-record once I get to El Centro, or if I see anything worth noting to record, I'll jump back on and show that to you guys. For content-wise, I actually decided I'm going to take the metro and walk back. So where I am getting on here, this station is Punto Clave. It is actually connected to a mall here. But in the mornings, it can be a lot of people taking the metro. So if you are interested in taking the metro, you do have to buy a card first, which I'll show you where to buy a card. There's one thing I usually don't like doing is recording like this, not necessarily because I have any fear that someone might try to rob me or something. I just hate looking like a foreigner, like a gringo. For the most part, I look Colombian until I start talking. So, but of course, when you're walking with a camera in front of your face, they know that you're definitely a foreigner. And I'm speaking English, so. But for the main part, the metro is the fastest way to travel and get around here. Although I hardly use the metro, it is a good form of transportation here and the primary form of transportation for the majority of Colombians, which also too, to give a little bit of history, from my understanding, Medellín was the first city here in Colombia to actually have a metro rail. I know they're constructing one now in Bogota, but they've had one here first since 1994. So when you first get into the metro station, right here behind me is where you're gonna go to actually get your card, and also to where you can add money to your card as well. All right, so once you get your card, it's gonna be called a Civica. You're gonna take that, and then you're going to come here and tap that here. Looks like it cost me 200 pesos, I believe. Not 100% sure. And I am going to be going north, which is this side. So I'm definitely not running to catch this train that I'm about to miss. So you have your north and your south. South will take you as far as La Estrella, and north will take you as far as, I think it's called Neki. But also another thing as well, guys, you do want to be extremely careful when you are taking the metro in the rush hour times. There's a lot of pickpocketers that are on trains, so you can get pickpocketed. So you'll see a lot of people with their bags in front of them, as well as a lot of people basically securing their bags. So, and this is pretty much what the metro station looks like. All right, so I made it here to El Centro. So to be honest with you guys, in my opinion, you have not fully experienced Medellin until you have taken the metro. So make sure you guys do that. Get out and get on the metro. Let's see. That is up. So I'm actually coming out right next to Plaza Botero, which is a huge landmark or famous museum here. So instead of you guys just staring at me this whole time, I'm gonna flip my camera around so that way you guys can see what I'm seeing. All right, guys, so this is pretty much what I'm seeing of El Centro. And the most famous thing that El Centro is, or Plaza Botero is known for, is these 23 bronze statues. And they were created by an artist named Fernando Botero, which is why this is called Plaza Botero. But you'll see a lot of tourists that come here to take photos with these statues here. So these are the statues that everybody will come to take photos of. And this is pretty much in the heart of the El Centro area. Also too, you're gonna get a lot of vendors here as well. Here also you'll get some people offering to take your photos. And in December, they actually have a huge Christmas tree here. And this is also where I believe you will see one of the oldest churches here in Medellin, which is coming up. You got the Medellin sign over here coming up, where these people are taking photos. Look like we got some white European women here. Yep, got the Medellin sign here. That's why I said I feel like Medellin is not as, not Medellin, but El Centro is not as dangerous as people make it out to be, just because now it's starting to, because Medellin is starting to get so commercial that you're starting to see more people here. Also, you have a lot of police officers that are down here in this general area. So as I talked about before, guys, the how everything is in sections. Right now, this section is going to be the section that has clothes. So here you're gonna find everything from shoes to clothes to jeans to shirts, everything. You'll have all kind of stores here that cover that. And also, what you'll find here is down to my left, you're gonna find a lot of prostitution on the left. You'll get a lot of girls here on the left-hand side. There's some cheap motels that are on my left-hand side, so you'll get that there. And I believe this here on my right-hand side is one of the older churches here to my right. So like over here where this red sign is, if you can see it, you have some girls standing out there. So you'll often see that here. You may have seen some videos of people doing walking tours of El Centro, and you see people, girls that are standing outside. That's usually what they're walking by. So it's still early, got a lot of people still opening, but you'll see a lot of these little types of booths or whatever you want to call them set up with vendors. Then you'll have a lot of just normal stores like this. So one thing that I do want to note, got a couple more Europeans that just passed me. Another thing that I want to note is that here in El Centro, the prices are negotiable. So whatever they tell you, don't set on that. Especially if you speak Spanish, they're probably going to be a little bit more willing to negotiate with you. But if you're just only speaking English, don't expect too much of a discount. Also, don't be afraid to walk away and come back. My girlfriend had to buy a suitcase for her mom, and we went through a few stores, and finally we found one, and when he didn't give a good price, we pretty much were going to walk away, and then he came lower. So definitely look around. Don't just settle on the first place that you go to. Also, too, this is where I've said this before, that El Centro is a good place to actually meet normal women. There's women that come from all the barrios in Medellín that come here to shop or they work. So you can find a lot of normal women here. Also, actually, some very beautiful women here as well. So now, disclaimer, I'm not saying none of the girls that will scope you won't be down here, but you know, you for the most part will find very normal, average, day-to-day Colombians. If you're not over in the working girls section, then you won't really be running into working girls. You're going to be running into just a normal, everyday working class girls. So this here, Centro Comercial I can't even pronounce it, but this right here is a famous mall. This mall is known for having the most amount of knockoff shoes, and we're gonna walk in here real quick. So you will see shoes in here that normally in the States might be like $150, Here they're like $35, $40. It's actually a beautiful, beautiful mall the way they did the architecture. Look at this. So here you're gonna have a bunch of stores like this with shoes. Hola, buenas. And here is mostly shoes, but you're gonna get a lot of people here standing outside of the shops that will definitely be harassing you to come in and buy something. But they have a little bit of everything, clothes. Let me flip my camera around. All right, so look at this. One of the things I actually love about Medellin. So on the very top floor here, there's gonna be a lot of art. And if you wanna come here to take pictures, you can. If you are planning on bringing a professional camera, they do charge you for that. I believe it's like 200 mil pesos for an hour. But you can take a picture with your phone, no problem. They won't charge you for that. But I wanna go up to this top floor so you guys can see the art. And by the way, I want to say, if you guys are planning on coming to Medellin and you need a tour or you need a concierge service, feel free to reach out to me. I usually put my information in the description. But this is one of the things I love about this building is you can come here and they have all this art here. So look at this here. It's a bunch of beautiful paintings here, like this one. You got Marilyn, a bunch of Marilyn Monroe art here. I don't know if any of this is for sale, but you know, the whole top 2 floors are pretty much just filled with art. And so as I said, the first 2 floors are going to be more filled with people, but the last 2 floors are pretty empty and quiet, but good spot to come look at some art. It's not necessarily a museum, but definitely a good Instagrammable place to come and take some photos. And this building is very famous, so if you take a photo on the inside of here, everyone, at least here in Medellin, knows what it is. But this is where you come to find all of your knockoffs, not only just knockoff bags, watches, but shoes especially. I want to try to ask somebody what the name of this mall is. They got jerseys here as well from teams from the United States. Perdón. Hola. Hola, parce. Una pregunta, ¿cómo se llama este centro
Palacio
comercial?
Nacional.
¿Cómo?
Palacio Nacional.
Gracias.
Sí.
All right, hopefully you guys heard that. They even got football jerseys as well. I just seen a white European girl in one of the stores here. So that's what I'm, mainly trying to get across to you guys, that El Centro, as I said, it does have this element of danger, but it's really not unsafe for you to come and walk around and shop. And as I tell everybody, it's one of the things you have to do here in Medellín. So the next thing I'm going to show you is another famous landmark here. It's called the, I believe, Palace of Luces or Lights. All right, where did I come out at? No, gracias. So, I was gonna walk through one of these malls, but first I'm gonna hit this other landmark that I wanted to show you guys, and then I'll do that after. And another thing too, like I said, if you get a lot of, or at least for me, normally I don't get a lot of attention down here unless it's like now where I'm holding a camera in front of my face. But you also do have a bunch of restaurants down here that you can eat and grab lunch, or if you want just street food, they have that as well. Let me flip my camera here. So one thing, as I said before, if your phone gets stolen here in Medellin, or if you get robbed, this is more than likely where your shit is gonna end up at and being resold. When my phone got stolen when I got pickpocketed in the Mita de Flores festival, I tried to track my phone with the Find My Phone app, and I followed it, and it basically made its way right here to El Centro. There's another mall called Premium Plaza, and there's a possibility that it may end up there as well, but generally it's gonna come to El Centro.
Confiti para la gripe.
So officially, this spot that I'm about to show you now is called Parque de las Luces, and this is basically just a artificial forest of 300 tall illuminated light poles that create a unique sculpture at night. So that's what the description is online. And this is it coming up on the left. Now, I'm gonna say this, and if you are not very seasoned and you are not very experienced here in Medellin, I do not recommend that you come here at night. So I've never actually seen this sculpture or this park in the nighttime because I do not dare come here. I've met other people who said, oh yeah, I've been in El Centro at night, it's not that bad. Also too, that's when you can come here and you'll find all the like dirt cheap prostitutes that'll be out here. From what I've heard, it's like, you can find girls as cheap as like $30, something like that. A lot cheaper than what you're gonna find in El Poblado. But in general, like I said, I don't really fuck with El Centro at night. I'm not stupid. Unless I'm coming with someone that knows the area very well, you won't catch me down here. But this is pretty much the park. I have seen some people come out here to take photos, so you'll catch that out here as well. Some people doing like some little photo shoots out here. But Parque de las Luces is another spot here that you should come check out while you are in El Centro. To be honest with you, there ain't really much exciting about it. There's no stores or anything here for you to go to. It's literally just a park. And I think maybe in the lunch hour, you might get people that come out here to actually eat and hang out, but this is pretty much it. And they have a bunch of bamboo trees around here. So now what I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna try to find one of these little shoe spots and ask how much some of the shoes are. And I've said this before in a video, here in Colombia, or in Medellin at least, pedestrians do not have the right of way, so it is the only place that I've been in where I feel like I'm gonna die every time I cross the street. So guys, be careful, make sure you are looking both ways, especially be careful with the motos. Those are the main ones that are flying through these streets and will fucking hit you. So as well, to my knowledge, there are not many like nightclubs or anything downtown. There are a few little, I guess, local spots, but for the most part, there's not much. It's mostly just shops. So like now I'm passing some stores here that have like fans, as you'll see here, cookware. And a lot of this stuff is going to be cheaper than if you just bought it in like a store. And the majority of Colombian girls, when they come to shop, this is where they come to shop. So don't let them fool you in thinking that they only shop in the malls here. Nah, They shop right here in El Centro. Another thing as well you want to be careful is when you are standing near the street, do not hold out a phone or any valuable electronics like I'm doing right now, because somebody will drive by on a moto and snatch that shit out your hand. So this is a do as I say, not as I do moment, so you guys know. So as well, you have shops like this that sell perfume. I'm seeing everything from like hangers. This place is like towels and bedding. So, gracias. As I said, you can find everything here, from household stuff to clothes. So definitely make sure you come down and do some shopping here in El Centro. So I'm gonna walk through this little area over here. They have like a bunch of little shoe shops. And honestly, most of the stuff that you buy for girls, if you're gonna go shopping for them, I would buy it in El Centro, to be honest with you. Amigos, una pregunta. Yo puedo preguntar algo. Disculpe, perdona molestar. Mi nombre es Sean, soy de Estados Unidos, pero vivo acá en Colombia casi 2 años. Pero yo quiero preguntar algo. ¿Qué tú sientes como los extranjeros acá en Colombia? ¿Eres molesto o todo bien, no problema?
No, no es molestante, es bien. Pues
Sí.
bueno que visiten el país,
Sí,
que conozcan la cultura colombiana.
es porque en línea es una cosa, muchos extranjeros piensan, los colombianos no quieren extranjeros aquí. Entonces, yo quiero preguntar. Y también, ¿cómo se llama tu tienda?
Calzado La Negra.
Salo La Negra.
Calzado La Negra.
Ok. Y, por ejemplo, ¿qué precios por los zapatos?
Depende, es que hay muchos estilos, precios diferentes.
Ok, entonces, como este zapatos. ¿Qué precio para este?
120.
120,000 pesos.
Sí.
Ok, gracias. Muchas gracias por tu tiempo.
Con gusto.
Te aprecio. Gracias. So that averages 120 mil. That might be like around like $30 roughly. So,
Camiseta de Colombia Nacional Medellín.
gracias. So, as you see, the people here are very friendly. And for those of you guys who think that the local people here are, gringo go home, for everybody that, is always saying that. And as I said, this, of course, isn't everybody, but the large majority of people here don't feel that way. So, the majority of people are very friendly and very kind here. So, if you are somebody who is thinking of coming to Colombia or move into Colombia, it doesn't necessarily have to be Medellin. Don't feel like, like I said, everybody has this mentality of just they're tired of foreigners. Like I said, honestly, and especially here in Medellin, the paisas, they're very prideful. So they're very proud that people want to come to their country and to their city and learn and, you know, integrate essentially. And I'm talking about the people who are coming here for the right reasons, not people who are coming here for any kind of like child exploitation or just only sex tourism. I'm talking about people who actually plan on coming here and, you know, starting a life, or actually just coming here for regular general tourism. So I'm finished doing what I need to do here. And for now, that is it. I appreciate you guys watching.